Hi, my name's Alex. I'm a filmmaker from Australia. I make movies on YouTube, and given that we've just gone through the Halloween spooky season, I wanted to talk about a couple of my most successful horror films that are on this channel now that you can watch for free. The reason that I want to talk about them, despite them being so popular, is that success is kind of a relative term, and a lot of my films that I would consider successful only have like 1,000 views. So I'm going to be reviewing, well, not reviewing, but I'm going to be talking about any of my films that are horror related that have gotten over 1,000 views. So that to me says that maybe some of these people liked them, or the like to dislike ratio would indicate that most of these people liked the films, and that you might like them as well. If you're on YouTube trawling around looking for horror films, you may have searched top horror films YouTube or something to get this, I don't know. This will probably not get any views, and that'll tell me not to make more of these videos. But anyway, if you found this interesting, or you enjoyed hearing about these films, or watched any of them from watching this, let me know that it was helpful, or that you found my films from this video. So here we go. Alright, so the first film on the list is Don't Come. Now this is a film that got about 1,000 views. It's 30 minutes long. It's a long short film, right? And I made it in a period of 3 hours. So keep that in mind as I'm talking about it. This may not be the best film to start the list on, but that's okay. Bear with me. Now, Don't Come is about a man who is an entrepreneur. He's hustling. He's a part of the hustle culture, alpha culture, sort of. That's his belief, right? Like that's where he's coming from. And we watch him as he slowly manipulates people or plays people off of each other to better his situation in life. So what happens is this character Michael finds himself knocked unconscious, and he wakes up with his arm crushed by a skip bin, and he's got lying around him the tools he needs to escape. But maybe the most important tool of all is the words of encouragement from a mysterious figure that's telling him what he needs to do and coaching him through this process. So there's some pretty fun twists and turns in this. It definitely won't end how you expect, and it's a pretty funny, in my opinion, it's a pretty funny commentary on hustle culture, on alpha maledom, or whatever that means. So if you're an alpha male or a sigma male, you probably won't like this. The next film on the list is Offerings for My Friend. Now this film comes in at about 1,100 views. It's a found footage horror film following a serial killer as he collects his victims in the woods for a mysterious entity. Now this film was a lot of fun to make. It was almost an improv film. I used a cheap $50 camcorder that I got from eBay, and I just started filming around the house, set up scenarios with my wife to film and to direct, and had a lot of fun with the props and the prosthetics for this film. There's some really fun gags involving prosthetics. It's probably the film of mine that has the most special effects in it to date. So if you like horror films or found footage films, you're probably going to really dig this one. It's got, again, a fun twist in it. You can't have a short film without a fun, interesting twist. I think you'll really like this one. If you do want to check out any of these films, do watch this one, because it's been pretty suppressed by YouTube because of the content in it. But if you like prosthetics and fun gags, then you'll probably really enjoy it. The next film on the list, coming in at 1,300 views, is actually the second or third film we ever made on the channel. 3 years ago it came out. It's called Vigil. So Vigil is one of the most interesting genre blends that we've, I think, ever had on the channel. It's an action horror film. So if that sounds like your jam, you might really actually enjoy it. It's about a vigilante who uncovers a gang with sort of occult affiliations, and the whole thing's essentially like a big action scene. So if that sounds fun to you, it's only like 3-4 minutes long. Do check it out. It's it is maybe one of my most nostalgic films, because it's the first time I really started to get into like more heavy stunt work. I actually threw myself over a table in this in one of the opening scenes, and that was one of the first stunts I ever did. So check it out, let me know what you think, and on to the next one. Right, the next film on this list is The Child in the Chapel. Now, this film has a special place in my heart. I actually filmed this when we were on a holiday. We were staying in an Airbnb. It was this old chapel that had been repurposed to stay in. So we created this story that would fit in thematically with that, and it's a lot of fun. So I made this is a really grassroots family film. I made it with my wife and my son when he was only 1 year old. So The Child in the Chapel is about this young woman and her partner who are being oppressed by these sort of mysterious forces that end up manifesting themselves in a child that appears in the woods. And when she brings him back home, tensions begin to grow between them even further, and the film comes to a really interesting climax. This film was a lot of fun to make. I think it's one of the most gorgeous films I've shot, and I'm really actually quite happy with the performances here. This film came out like 2 years ago as well, and it was at a time when I was really focusing and trying to refine my skills and my performances as an actor, and my wife came in with an absolute firecracker of a performance, and my 1 year old son had a pretty good performance as well. I am so pleased with how it came together. On the last night that we had on the holiday, we stayed up really late talking with my friend Joel, trying to come up with an ending for this film. It was almost entirely improvised, and the film flows so seamlessly. It's a great movie. I think it's one of the most underrated films on my channel. So if you haven't watched it yet, go and check it out. It is an absolute blast. You're going to love this film. Alright, the next film on this list, coming in at 1,700 views, is 5137.mov. This is a kind of found footage blend narrative film. It's I wasn't sure how it would come together when I was filming it, because it didn't feel like it was going to be a very strong film when I was making it. I wasn't very confident during the production, but once I went into the edit and I saw how things were coming together, I was so pleased. We reused one of the locations from another film I did, Over the Next Horizon, which was my first feature film. So I had a chance to explore a lot of interesting locations for that film in the woods. There was an abandoned house in the woods that I found, and as I was shooting that film, I thought, man, some of these locations would be great for a horror film. And lo and behold, I made this film shortly afterwards. So I made this again about 2 years ago, and it came together so well. It's one of the only films of mine that on rewatch actually scares me a little bit. So if that sounds interesting to you, or you like the look of it so far, definitely go and watch it. It's a film that you don't want to miss, and it's a film, again, that I feel like is a little bit underrated, but I'm glad that people that have watched it did enjoy it as well. So you go and check it out if you think that... I've got to stop saying for people to go and check it out. That's implied. You should watch all these films, but you don't have to. You can check it out if you want. Enough of that. The next film coming in at 2,200 views is The Night Shift. Now, this is a film that I've talked about a fair bit on the channel, so I won't talk about it too much more here, but it's definitely on the list because it's one of the most classic YouTube horror films that I've made. But if you like that, you'll probably like The Night Shift. Alright, Seclusion. Seclusion is a film that I didn't direct, but I was involved on set as a best boy, runner. I was a number of things on set, and it was a lot of fun. There's a big team behind this film, and not only is the cinematography absolutely gorgeous, but the acting is amazing. It's kind of like an Aussie take on developing like a Michael Myers type supernatural slasher threat. So as far as Aussie slasher films go, we've got like Mick Taylor from the Wolf Creek films, but we don't really have like a supernatural horror threat like Michael Myers or Freddy Krueger. So this is kind of a take on that, and the development of a really interesting horror villain that isn't just some serial killer or some psycho on the loose. This is actually a supernatural horror film in the slasher genre. It's a lot of fun, and if you want to see a really kick-ass fight scene, has some really great takedowns and some awesome kills, so do check it out. Right. The next film I want to talk about is GLIM. Now, GLIM was the first film we ever made on Late Night 99. This is what started it all, and we made it for Halloween in 2020, 4 years ago, and released it on the channel. We did nearly no marketing for it, or not in the same way that we do now. We didn't have a following, we didn't have an audience, we just shared it on a few pages. And if I look on let me actually just look at the analytics. I don't think very many of the views came from external sources anyway. They all came from the home, like for whatever reason, YouTube decided, hey, GLIM gets to be on the homepage for a hot minute. So we got 28,000 views on GLIM in nearly a week. It just blew up. And it informed us, hey, there are people out there that might actually watch the films that we're making, that me and my friends had made for years. People might take these films seriously and enjoy them for entertainment. And it sort of sparked a whole journey for us. So Adrian directed that film, Adrian Simeone, amazing director, just natural talent. And he then went on to direct Vigil and then Tempest, and he starred in a bunch of other films that we made, including Over the Next Horizon and Professor Devours, which is a film that'll be coming out one day on the channel. We're working on it. That's enough gushing about my friend Adrian. The film worked. It was our first time making something that was a little bit more serious, because previously we'd just been making sketches. And when we realized that people were actually enjoying this film, we were inspired to keep making other films and to further our filmmaking career, right? So I rewatched GLIM this Halloween, and let me tell you, it actually holds up. It's still a very strong entry into our filmography, and if you are wanting to watch a horror film or wanting to see where we started, it's right there. You can see, and you can see the whole journey, how we've improved, and maybe some areas we haven't improved in that are just baked into our how we approach filmmaking. I don't know. So GLIM's there. You can go and watch it. We had a lot of fun making it. Small crew, and yeah, not much has changed since then in terms of how we approach the filmmaking. Still very grassroots and low budget. So have fun with that if you go and rewatch GLIM. Right, the next and final film I need to talk about is Don't Scream. Now, we made Don't Scream in 2022, 2 years ago, and it started a whole tradition where we make a fan film every year, pretty much. So we made Weapon X, our Wolverine fan film, the following year, and then this year we made a Star Wars fan film. And it all started with Don't Scream, and when Don't Scream came out, it got heaps of views, and we realized, which we should have known all along, that hey, if you want to get people to watch your films, you should go and make a fan film. This film was directed by Anton, and he crushed it. And this film has a really important place for me in my film journey, because I was the cinematographer for the film, and this was where I learned a lot of the skills that I carry with me now still when it comes to directing. So watching Anton direct the cast that we had, it was a pretty big cast for this film, and watching him direct them and support the performances and support the actors in service to the script that we had, written by my lovely wife, came away with skills that I am taking into projects now. I'm still thinking back to lessons that I learned on Don't Scream. I might make a video talking to Anton about how he directs, because I think there's a lot there to learn. Anyway, a lot of the people that came to our channels from these fan films, because Don't Scream did pretty well, and then Weapon X did even better, and I'm sure the Star Wars film will do even better than that. But the people that come to our channel, the majority of the subscribers on our channel, there's a good chance that they've come from these fan films, but they don't necessarily tune in for all the other films that we make, which is kind of why I'm doing this video. I am hoping, and maybe you've clicked off by now, so if you're still here, thank you, but I'm kind of hoping that people might see this and be interested in any of the other films that we've done, any of the other horror films that we've done. We've got heaps of other films. I'm just talking about horror films because we've just had Halloween. We've got 2 feature films on our channel. We've got nearly 40 short films, and that doesn't even include the 5-part series of Marana, which is an anthology film we did about a meteor hitting Earth, and it's an apocalyptic feature film essentially in 5 parts, and a great. If you want to, I'll put a link in the description to all the Marana stuff and the Marana links. But if you want to explore what we've got going on and what we have to offer, if you've seen any one of our films and think, oh, that was pretty fun, go and watch the other ones and enjoy them too. And I'll just take this as an opportunity as well, because I'm already rambling, and judging by my analytics, only like 5 to 10% of you are still here. So thank you if you're still here. We have heaps of resources available to people who are either A, interested in filmmaking, B, wanting to follow us as people, as filmmakers, and learn more about us. I'm going to be doing interviews with directors. I did one with RJ Reddle, who directed a film that we released in Halloween as well, that I didn't talk about this time, but we talked about it heaps in the interview, so go and check that out. We have a Patreon where you get to see exclusive behind the scenes. You get to see the films before they come out on the YouTube channel, and we do a raffle every year, so that raffle will be coming up soon. So if you're interested in that, you can join the Patreon for $2, and there's a possibility that you can be sent one of the props from our film. Like, I'll ship to you, I'll send you a prop from one of our films that we made this year. So if that interests you at all, you should subscribe to the Patreon. We do heaps of videos like this as well, not like talking about other people's films, promoting other films in the independent online filmmaking community. So I don't know, that's my rant over. But if you're interested in or want us to offer more than just the films, well, that's there too. But it's not going to clog up your subscription feed too much, because we have a film coming out every single month. Every month there's another short film coming out, and they're all different from each other. Some of them are from different directors. Most of them were directed by me or my close friends, and the ones that aren't directed by me or my close friends were directed by people who are very close to us in the industry that we work alongside making other projects. Or they may be projects like Seclusion, where I participated in a crew capacity and now have the opportunity to distribute it as a production company. So look, this is Late Night 99 is an insight into independent film, kind of specifically as well for the local community that I'm in, not just independent film as a whole, but Brisbane filmmaking, Australian filmmaking, Queensland, Brisbane filmmaking. This is kind of an insight into that, which is pretty cool. If you're a local, if you're from the same place that I'm from, hey, this could be a cool place to hang out every now and then and watch some of these videos. So I'm sort of running out of things to say, and this is what happens when I don't script a video. So if you didn't enjoy it, and if I get the 2 to 5% retention rate right at the very end that I'm anticipating, then it'll confirm it for me. But you may have proved me wrong if you're listening to this. Maybe other people have made it this far as well. I gotta stop talking. See you later. Bye.